that. All right, guys. We had to intervene there because this Blake guy has... this Blake guy's kind of been making me worried about where our investigation is going. I mean, yes, my version of Norman, Oh, there you are. Now you're in the right corner.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Rog.
Hey.
Yeah, so our Norman accidentally shot our last suspect, so I couldn't let that go too far. So guys, what we're going to do is we have a quick video that is on the technology from Detroit Become Human, and we're going to play that like a 4-minute intermission break. And when we come back from that, we are going to do the drawing for the for another one of the cards. And I think we'll do 3 today. So we'll do 1 at intermission, and then we'll do 1 again at the end of the stream. So if anybody wants to... that surprises Rog.
Yeah.
But we can do it. We have the resources. And I'm just very grateful for you guys being on the stream. So happy to send these out to say thank you. The way to enter, if you're new to the stream, just say something into the chat. And Rog is keeping a detailed list of everybody who participates in the chat, and then we're going to shuffle them up and draw a winner. Right when we come back from this video, the winner, of course, will receive a signed postcard from yours truly, sent to you in real life, because we all get plenty of notifications on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, but sometimes it's nice to get real mail in your mailbox. So if you want to jump in, please feel free to do so. Subscribers are going to get double the entry, so if you want to subscribe, you can use your Amazon Prime link to get a free subscription to the channel, and we have some new emotes, which I think Rod can throw up on there. We have a Deviant, we have a Connor emote, a Detroit emote, and a Deviant emote. So if anybody's got those and wants to throw them into the chat, feel free.
Also, thank you to the first 4 subscribers that we had. We didn't get a chance to thank you all.
Yeah, so our original 4 subscribers from our very first stream, Awinar, Lightning Panda 98, Buzz, and Teneri. So thank you guys for subscribing, and thank you all for following along. We're going to take a 4-minute, 50-second break for a little video clip from IGN on the tech, and then we'll come back with a Q&A real quick on anything you guys have to ask. So if you have questions, type them into the chat during the video. Cool. See you in a suit.
See ya.
Well, Quantic Dream is a special studio in that way that we are fascinated by narrative and emotions and games, but at the same time we develop technologies for 21 years since we started. And for each game we develop a new engine. We want to push the technology as far as we can. And Detroit was so demanding regarding the scenes that we wanted to create that it really forced us to push the envelope in pretty much all aspects of the technology.
You get to video games and you have to build a relationship with the 3D engine team. They're the guys that turn your vision into a reality. Basically, in video games, nothing exists until they build it.
Alors cette salle, c'est la salle de mocap. C'est la salle où tout se déroule. C'est une salle qui est très importante puisque c'est vraiment là où tous les acteurs sont capturés, exécutent leurs performances. Il faut quand même bien se rendre compte qu'autour de nous, cette salle elle est totalement vide. Il n'y a pas de chaises, il n'y a pas de murs et c'est vraiment un challenge pour les acteurs puisqu'en fait ils doivent s'imaginer les décors 3D dans lesquels ils vont être amenés à jouer sans les avoir autour d'eux. Une fois que nous avons choisi les acteurs, nous les scannons afin d'avoir tout simplement leur double digital, c'est-à-dire que nous scannons leur visage, leurs mains, tous les détails qui constituent leur morphologie.
We redesign entirely our system of performance capture, which is how we capture actors, their face, their voice. We have a system that is absolutely non-intrusive. We use very small markers, so there's no backpack, no helmet, no lamp, nothing. It's just the actor with markers.
Le but en fait de la motion capture, c'est de récupérer au maximum le mouvement des acteurs, que ce soit les mouvements du corps ou les mouvements du facial. On fait de la performance capture, c'est-à-dire qu'on capture à la fois le corps et le visage, et à partir de là, ça nous permet de retranscrire le plus fidèlement possible tout cet acting de l'acteur sur les personnages du jeu.
The 3D engine team They're the guys that build the software that generates the images that you see 30 times a second. And you look at the CG world where it takes them 5 to 10 hours to render a single frame, and here we're doing it 30 times a second. It's just amazing.
Travailler sur PS4 Pro, ça a été du bonheur, parce que tout simplement, c'est une très très belle console, avec vraiment une possibilité de travailler le visuel. On a notre propre moteur, donc déjà ce moteur il est très performant. Il est vraiment dédié à cette console, c'est-à-dire un rendu réaliste avec un rendu de lumière réaliste et une restitution de la lumière réaliste sur les matériaux. Mais surtout, ce que ça nous a permis de faire, c'est de sortir un jeu qui est en 4K natif. Ça, c'est vraiment génial parce que pour l'image, le piqué d'image, c'est vraiment quelque chose qui est incroyable.
PlayStation 4 Pro allowed us really to get a really high res and get very, very precise rendering with still a very high frame rate. So that was really what we wanted to achieve with this platform that would have not been possible before. We worked very hard on what we call the depth of field, which is what is blurry in a shot. People are very familiar with that, and actually we did that because of Mark Cerny. He came when we did this first demo. Mark Cerny is, of course, the man behind the PlayStation. He came and he said, your engine looks good. It's too bad that your depth of field is not as good as it could be. And then we were so upset when he left. We talked together and said, what are we doing with the depth of field? We need to fix that. And the team worked very hard and they found an incredible solution. Of course, that's just the technical and the visuals. Visuals is not everything in a game. What we had to develop is brand new tools in order to create these crazy branches in the narrative, make sure that we could track all the variables, that we could debug any issues, and there were plenty of issues that we had to fix, as you can imagine. I could talk about technology for hours, but I think that's it.
Hey, welcome back. Cool. So we are going to, that was the video from IGN, of course, which has been doing a bunch of really cool behind the scenes interviews and clips. So if you guys want to check them out on the channel, they're also up on my page. I think there's about 4 or 5 of them now. So if anybody else wants to chime in to win, go ahead and enter something into the chat. And we will draw the winner at the end of this brief little Q&A session. So, Rog, what questions do we have?
Well, stop all the presses. There have been quite a few demands.
Demands?
Yeah, beginning with RC Lee. She kind of started it, Sorgi. And they really want you to say it. So I figured we stop things for a second. And,
to say that right there?
Yeah, the thing that's on the screen. My name is
Connor. This is our Twitch. Does that do?
Yeah, I think.
How's that? Have we done it? I feel like that worked out okay. So
Yeah.
what do we have as far as questions? What do you guys think of that video? I see that Marcus is so hot, which is the case. That's Jesse Williams, who's the actor who plays Marcus.
Rye Hickey asked earlier, have you met any of the Heavy Rain actors before?
Good question. I don't think I've met any of the leads in Heavy Rain, but I can say, and I think there might be some super fans of Quantic Dream in the chat that would know the answer to this, I can say that I've met actors from Beyond Two Souls because they were in Detroit Become Human. Does anybody know who those are? I'm curious if anybody in the chat is familiar enough with the cast of these two games. There's definitely actors from Beyond Two Souls in Detroit Become Human. I don't know for sure about Heavy Rain. No, it's not Ellen Page. 93, thank you very much. I'm flattered. And Rog, of course, very handsome on the stream.
1111 was asking about the coin trick.
Oh, the coin trick. Yeah, so we definitely did record the performance capture for the coin trick. That's actually me doing all of those motions for the coin trick in the elevator. However, there was no coin. So, hate to break it to you, but I can't do that outside of the imaginary world. But I can nail it. I mean, when it comes to not having an actual quarter and flipping it, I can spin it on my finger like this, pop it up, throw it over here.
You realize it's alive and I can't post in any effects, right?
Frog, you told me that you were going to CGI or something a quarter as we did that. No.
Yeah.
We do all of the animations, but of course a lot of times there's not actually the prop with us. So they're able to do a little bit of, magic in the edit. There's also a lot of other things that are not there, like everything else. So pretty much all of the environment when we're filming is not there. Sometimes we have very crude props. We have tables that have holes in them so that they can see the markers on our suit through them. Most of the props are cardboard, so if I was going to drink out of a cup in a scene, I can't use this cup because it's reflective, and I guess they're infrared cameras that are all around the grid would pick up the reflection on this cup. And because of that, you can't tell where the markers are. It confuses the computer, so we have to use cardboard, everything. So there's like one cardboard circle or cylinder that says, this is a mug, this is a jug, this is a cup. You can see the harness there. This is a harness that they use so that the suit stays like where my skin would be, and then the harness, can be, I think that's Clancy holding me there, Clancy Brown, who plays Hank. You can see the markers on my face. There's 86 of these markers on the face and then on the suit. And the suit ones are larger. There's a bigger space on the grid that can record the motion. And then the closer and more detailed center part of the grid can pick up these very fine markers on your face. And they're not actually glowing like they do in this picture. That's with a flash. So they're reflective, like the material you have on running sneakers or on your bike so they don't get hit by a car at night. And the markers, no, they're not, let's see, is it Terran? The markers aren't itchy, but sometimes you feel them, especially the ones on your eyes, or they'll fall off, and so they'll have to stop a take, go back to the top, put the markers back. Especially when you're running, or if you're sweating, or if you're crying, if there's a lot of movement in the scene, the markers are more likely to fall off your face, and so they have to replace them. What year did I start to perform Connor? 2 years ago in March, so 2016. So I auditioned several times, many times in fact, before, and we started shooting in March of 2 years ago, and filmed in segments with other actors throughout the last 2 years.
Did you make any new friends during the game?
I made a lot of new friends. Everybody at Quantic Dream was really, really cool, and some of them are coming to my wedding. In fact, we are. It's a really it's a really specific kind of work to be doing. So everybody's very excited about it, and the men and women that I worked with at Quantic Dream were absolutely awesome. They have the animators are on set, looking at the motion capture input. The facial animation is a whole separate setup than the physical markers that say where your joints are that move your body. The game designers are there, the level designers are there, depending on which scenes that we're shooting and which levels or chapters they take place in the game. The individual designer of those levels is there. David Cage is, of course, always there, and you have the lead writer, Adam Williams, Benjamin Deibling, who's the shooting director and does all the mocap and the stunts, is always on set. You have a props team and a set team that's helping, say if we are filming in a car, they'll have a crude outline of the car, and then they'll have to know between block A5 and A7 is the driveway, and then everything over there is the lawn, so that you know where you're walking, even though you have no real environment. I mean, sometimes the set is just a couple of sandbags on the ground, so they know which way to go. Do I remember my weirdest line? No. I think the testing the blue blood in your mouth is a little weird. But there's so many lines.
Can you answer about yourself?
No. There's some things I just can't answer about because, I signed an NDA and they said, don't you tell anybody.
But that will be different when the game comes out.
Oh, yeah. Once the game is out on the stream, expect me to tell you absolutely everything I possibly can. But in the meantime, I have to respect, Sony and PlayStation and Quantic Dream. They've been working on this game for a lot longer than I have, so I don't want to ruin anything, give anything away. Get Quantic Dream to animate the wedding. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe they can add in some really cool background effects and some explosions. Let's see. So last time on the chat, we asked some questions from the Twitch stream for David Cage. I went to go have dinner with David. This is a photo of us at a Detroit mural. And he was obviously in Los Angeles to do some press for Detroit Become Human, and you guys had some questions for him. So I took your questions from Twitch and asked him over dinner, and he was very honored to get your questions. And let's pull them up on the screen here. The first one was from InFame47 asking David Cage his favorite Android movie, to which, of course, he replied, Blade Runner. Hard to say no to that one. And you can read the whole quote there up on the screen, but...
Where else might they be able to find these little frames, by the way, Bryan?
Yeah, so all of these questions and answers are up on my Instagram, which is at Bryan Dechart. You guys can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, just at my name.
This is where I live when there's things up on the screen, guys, by the way.
Nice.
So the second question we've got...
Oh, yeah, we asked David Cage what kind of games does he play during his off time. This is from Derek. Derek, who works with Sony PlayStation at a lot of the conventions. Derek, it's always good to have you in the chat. And the general consensus from David was that he plays most games so that he can understand them and analyze them, but not necessarily for fun. And for fun, he likes to play a famous soccer game, which he won't name, but I bet you can guess what it is. And also a famous card game that I think you might be able to guess what it is. And then most of all, he says he enjoys playing indie games because there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in indie gaming right now. So if you guys have any favorite indie games, I would love the recommendations to check them out, because as well as all the big AAA exclusives and things, I would love to know what are smaller developers making? What are people doing that's like the cutting edge of this?
Cool. Question 3.
Question number 3 was from Blue Rabbit asking if David Cage ever plays his own games. And he effectively said that once the game comes out, they don't play it anymore. He's played it so many times, and there's so many different permeations of what can happen in the storyline, that once they're done troubleshooting it and putting it all together and releasing it out into the world, he's done playing it because, as he says here in the quote, it's impossible for them to make any more fixes to the game, so all he would see is the little pieces he'd wanted to change or improve upon, and it would just be too painful to play through the game again. But at this point, I think David Cage has probably played Detroit Become Human more times than anyone could ever handle.
Bryan, just a little kind of follow-up question with that.
Yeah.
Do you watch your own work in movies and TV a lot when you're in them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I watch it. I don't know. I used to be kind of superstitious about it, where I would be worried, it's strange because you do something and then it's like burying it in a time capsule, right? So I worked on Detroit Become Human for 2 years, put a lot of my heart and soul into it, and then it's now top secret and hidden and I can't mention anything about it. So for me, it's really about opening it back up again on the other side to see all the animation they've been doing, all the environments. For me, it's more about getting to see how the whole thing has come to life and be finalized than it is really watching specifically Connor. And I'm most excited about playing through Kara and Marcus's storylines because I don't know anything really. I know some parts about their storyline, but I don't know as intimately as I know with Connor. This decision will have this outcome, this decision will do this.
Cool. One more question there.
Yeah, so the next question is also from Infame47 asking David Cage, how hard does the controller shake? The controller shakes in Heavy Rain during these tense moments, and was asking if it's shaking also in Detroit Become Human, and David laughed very happily when I asked him this question and said it shakes even more. So if you're looking for some drama and some tension and some intense high stakes action, Detroit Become Human has got that for you.
Cool. And the last question here.
It's not really a question so much, but it's just that a lot of people in the stream wanted to just tell David Cage thank you. And so I forwarded that to him. He was happy to hear it, and he returns the thank you, saying thanks to everybody who's supporting, because you're the reason why he makes games, and honestly, I feel the same way when it comes to doing this stream or with everybody so excited about Detroit Become Human. We put a lot of work into like building the toys and the diorama and the rough outline of the story of what can be done with it, but it's going to be entirely up to you guys to bring it to life. I mean, how this story plays out is exclusively up to your decisions and your choices playing through. So without an audience, without gamers to play it, I mean, it doesn't exist. So thank you guys. Cool. Do we have any more questions, or should we do a drawing for this next prize?
A couple of things. Alex back 16 was asking about how long it took to complete the Detroit mocap.
I know that they've been recording mocap and performance capture off and on for over the last, I think, 3 or 4 years in total. They have done over 350 days of performance capture, I believe, which is an insane amount of performance capture. I think it's more than, I mean, Avatar was huge, but I don't think they did 360 days of performance capture. I mean, the way the story bends and the branching narrative element of it means they have to record so many different possibilities and outcomes that it took hundreds of actors and a lot of game designers and of course the writers a long time to come up with all these variations, and then of course it took many, many days to film it all.
Cool. And Albert Abreu was just asking a little bit about what it was like getting into voiceover work.
What was it like getting into voiceover work? I started off doing a lot of student film projects and stuff. I did a lot of things. Rog and I went to NYU Tisch together, and at school there, a lot of the freshman and sophomore projects were were you in film too? No, you were in the writing project.
I was film and TV.
Yeah. So did you do a DFS project and a sound image project? They do these projects where it's only still frames or only like as in photography still frames and only audio. So a lot of my beginning, what would be now my voiceover experience, came from doing those audio only projects in film school. And then as I graduated, I started doing little commercials and things, and I've done, a handful of TV spots. I think if you guys are watching, there's a Honda TV spot for the Honda Hybrid Accord or something that's some runners running along. I did a VO for that, and I've played a voiceover character in Mafia 3, a couple different characters that are scattered throughout the game, but it slowly grows each time you do a different project, and one thing leads to another, and luckily for me it led to Detroit. Oh, Simple Gazer, you saw the spot. Cool. Very cool. Right on. So if anybody else wants to chime into the chat, go ahead right now, and we will run the Rogbot algorithm.
Okay.
Can we get it? Can we get a drum roll, please? Drum roll in the chat. Ding! The winner is
Frost Salam 93.
Frost Salam 93. Ding, 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 ding. You are the
Salami?
winner. Frost Salami? How do
Maybe
we?
Salami. Yeah.
Ah,
I think they know who they are.
nice. You know who you are.
Yeah. Well,
If there's a Frost Salami 95 that shows up and tries to claim your prize, we'll deny them outright. We will send you a whisper after the stream is over to get your address of where we can send that to you. Thank you very much. That's a little token of appreciation from me to you guys for following along on the stream. And we're going to do prize giveaways at every stream because honestly, it's pretty easy to do for me. And I want to just say thank you because sending you a tweet or an email or something just doesn't feel the same as getting something in the mail. So that's for you. Thank you for helping. Thank you for being on board. Cool.
Great.
Should we get back into some Heavy Rain, guys?